watching Business World Live. I'm Danie Laurel. Let's take a look at how the local bourse closed today. But you can see on my terminal here, as expected, Philippine stocks halted a two-day drop today. That's, of course, as Metro Manila's curbs are set to ease on the 16th of October. We rose the most in Asia, closing at 7183.11. That is up by 1.6%, the highest close we've seen since January 19. And you can see here on the one-day performance that really the ones that were leading were the retailers, the casinos, restaurants, basically anyone that was standing to gain from this reopening and move towards alert level number 3. You can see Bloomberry up by as much as 7%. It even rose to a high of by 9.4% in earlier trade. Of course, anticipation that the gaming facilities in Metro Manila will be resuming. You also have Jollibee, the second in the pack, up by 6.4%. Robinson's Retail as well, a big retailer here, up by 5.9%. That was actually the sharpest advance since April of 2020. You've also got SM Investments, Ayala Corporation. A lot of investors are looking at those two stocks as proxies of how the economy is going to be. And every time those two jump, they're also seeing, the economy jump along with it. Those also rose at least by 2.6%. You've also got the malls here. I'm going to try and pull that out for you. The malls here doing very, very well. Ayala Land in particular up by 2.5%. But you've also got Mega World up by 1.6%. Entertainment stocks, Alliance Global as well. Leisure and Resorts, the steepest gain in over a month. That was up by 8%. You've also got the airline stocks, and we had been looking at that earlier on this morning. Take a look at Cebu Pacific up by 4.3%. That was soaring for a third day. Of course, there are reports that the quarantine will be easing here for those in the green lane. Or at least the countries from green light countries, which are very low risk, do not need to quarantine anymore. But even the others that are related to the airlines, such as JG Summit, which of course is the parent of Cebu Pac, Macro Asia, a food caterer for the airlines, those also advanced pretty well. Megawide as well, which is operating airports, jumped by as much as 6.9%. And generally, the index has just rallied by almost 7% since we've been easing since August on that EZQ restrictions, and finally have been reopening the economy. And this happened even as Finance Secretary Sonny Dominguez mentioned to Bloomberg TV over in the US this morning that the growth in the third quarter will likely be slower than what we were seeing in the second quarter. Nevertheless, the government will be sticking to the revised forecast, which is of course 4 to 5% in 2021. He says as well that inflation will be holding for as long as fuel prices, something that we are watching very closely, will be sticking to below $90 a barrel. Now, at a time where things are uncertain, our staple restaurateur Jollibee is making waves across the ocean. And here to chat with us live from London, we have the business head of Jollibee Europe, Adam Parkinson. Good afternoon and good morning to you, Adam, over in London.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Adam, for our viewers here, we're very curious to understand how exactly Jollibee is making waves in Europe. Give us a briefer. Where are you at right now? Where have you opened so far, and what are your targets?
For us in Jollibee Europe and Jollibee as a whole, our end goal really is to become a household name across every country in Europe. No exceptions there. So far in 2018, we opened 2 stores in Milan and then one in London. And since then, we're going to close this year now with 13 stores, with every major city in the UK covered, and our new entry recently in Madrid, Spain, which has been a fantastic experience for us all. And this has really been driven by our connection with the mainstream audience. So not just the Filipino community, but also the locals within Italy, within Spain, and also, of course, within the UK where I am today.
Adam, has this expansion been a long time coming, or is this something that was spurred because of the COVID-19 pandemic? Suddenly in a period of turbulence, so to speak, globally, you've chosen to go ahead and target 50 stores in the next 5 years.
No, it's always been a dream for Jollibee to expand across Europe. Europe as a region is a huge opportunity for Jollibee and all brands. And I guess the pandemic, although settles back a little bit into like it did with everybody else, it hurt the business. It did give us an opportunity to acquire those sites that maybe previously we weren't able to get hold of on the high streets, those flagship
Oh,
locations that
interesting. Okay.
puts us in front of passing traffic for the brand awareness that we needed to connect with those locals.
How is consumption in Europe doing? As you know, in the Philippines, as I just reported, Jollibee was the second best performer today, basically because finally we can all go out and start eating. What is the sentiment over in Europe? Are people just going back to normal? Is the foot traffic in restaurants, in malls, in places to dine in as good as it was pre-pandemic?
It really differs by city, but what we have seen since the vaccine started to roll out at the beginning of the year, certainly in the UK and then Europe quickly caught up after a couple of months after the first quarter, we've seen people now start to get confidence again to return to the city centres, and we've gone from having 0% dining business back up now to 60%. So people are really returning into our restaurants. And I guess like all human beings, we like to be around other human beings, right? So when we get the opportunity to come out of our homes from lockdown, we want to go back to the places where we enjoy. And food happens to be, I guess, a comfort that we all enjoy and we all share together. And doing that with our friends and family, I think, is important, especially at times like this. So the vaccine program has enabled us to bring business back to the high streets. Now, in terms of the numbers, in terms of foot traffic, we still are down on those of 2019 in terms of foot traffic into the malls. However, from 50% in the first half of the year, now going back up to 70%. And then I expect by Christmas, we get back to those 100% numbers pre-COVID.
Okay. Where are these new stores going to be at? Are they going to be in specific countries? Are you going to be, broadening your reach here in terms of having scattered approach in different places in Europe? Or are you going to be concentrating on the areas where there are a lot of Filipino communities? Where are these going to be in the next 5 years?
We currently operate in 3 countries across Europe, which is Italy, Spain, and the UK. We handpicked those countries originally because of the overseas Filipino presence that we have in them. However, the end goal is, again, as we said, is the mainstream customer and connecting well with them. So we will focus on Italy, Spain, and the UK. UK being the biggest market for us when it comes to chicken consumption and chicken brands. So we see the UK as a massive opportunity to segue into some of those other countries across Europe. So the 50 stores are spread across those 3 countries that I mentioned, but it's just really the start of everything, because if we can make it work in the UK and in Europe, then we can go into other countries across Europe. And the positive, I guess, is the majority of our business right now in the UK, where we have most of our stores in every major city, is 70% of those customers are mainstream customers. So the majority of our business is coming from the mainstream, which is very encouraging for the brand.
Very interesting. So, how do you position yourselves vis-a-vis competitors? Who are your main competitors here? Is it different from, in terms of Spain, Italy, and the UK, the local restaurant, fast food chains, or are they the global brands as well? Is it the same type of competitors that we see here in the Philippines?
It's similar to what you see in the Philippines. It's the global brands, the same ones that are in pretty much every country around the world. I guess we position ourselves with slight difference, where we're trying to give that fast casual restaurant experience, from our food quality to our service and the ambiance of the store, matched with the fast food price point, because we feel that the price point is important to be able to encourage all walks of life to come and enjoy the product at Jollibee. So we sit kind of in the middle of that fast casual experience with the fast food price point.
Okay, what makes it different from the Jollibee that we see locally here in the Philippines, or even Jollibee? You're also opening not just in Europe, by the way, but you just opened new branches over in North America and Canada, for instance. You also have in the Middle East, you have in Singapore, in Hong Kong. Is there, differences when it comes to the European kind of Jollibee in terms of the ingredients that are being used? Are you trying to localize it in a way, or are you keeping that Filipino flavor?
I think the major difference that you will see when you look at the stores in Europe is really the look and feel and the store design. This store design that we created in Europe was created in partnership with our partners there in Manila. So the store design has been, I guess, modernized slightly to fit the market. And this is the store design now that will go worldwide. So you'll start to see the same restaurants all over the world, included in North America, as you mentioned. In terms of the roots of the brand, we assure your viewers and we assure the business that we want to stay authentic to what Jollibee is to not only the Filipino community, but we also think it's a unique offering for the mainstream community. So when it comes to our product, although Europe is different region to that of Asia, so in terms of ingredients, there will be some slight changes. 90% of our menu will remain authentic and true to the brand, and all those products, the fan favorites of the Filipinos, will be taste tested by an educated board of taste testers there in Manila to make sure we stay loyal to the brand. However, there will be some adaptations, so there will be some introductions to some local favorites that we've already done in Europe, but those will all be taste tested with our target audience.
Okay, so no Jollibee paella or Jollibee risotto for the time being. And finally, will you be bringing in the other JFC brands there as an expansion plan, or are you focusing really on the flagship Jollibee?
I think it's important to establish JFC in Europe with the flagship Jollibee first and foremost, and I think there's no plans right now to bring any of the other brands. However, I'm sure in the future we will continue to look at the opportunities that we have with the other brands and how that they can complement not only Jollibee but the European market. But right now, the focus is on Jollibee.
Okay, well, exciting time. So right now, 3 locations. You've got the UK, you've got Spain, you've got Italy. 11 stores, if I'm not mistaken, in the first half of the year.
11 stores, yeah.
All right. And looking to expand to 50 stores in the next 5 years. Thank you so much, Business Head of Jollibee Europe, Adam Parkinson.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Checking in on the other headlines we're keeping our eyes on, the government is confident that the reopening of cinemas under Alert Level 3 in Metro Manila will not cause another increase in COVID-19 cases. In today's briefing, Palace spokesperson Harry Roque said they are not afraid of allowing cinemas and other recreational facilities to reopen, as only vaccinated individuals will be allowed to enter these establishments. Roque also notes that cinemas are required to have proper ventilation and regular spraying of air purifiers. Meanwhile, the Interior Department says that a 1-seat apart rule will also be implemented among moviegoers. Under Alert Level 3, cinemas across the capital region are only allowed to operate at up to 30% capacity. Now, the Labor Department is eyeing to provide soft loans for companies heavily affected by the pandemic to help these firms provide workers their 13th month pay. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello stressed the importance of providing the 13th month pay to employees, especially amid the pandemic. He also reminded employers that providing 13th month pay is also mandated by the law. Bello says he has met with the Employers Confederation of the Philippines to discuss giving soft loans to employers, which they can use to provide 13 months pay for their workers. The companies covered by this initiative are those under sectors that are most affected by the pandemic. And the customs collected nearly 45 billion pesos in taxes from the fuel marking scheme that is in the third quarter. These taxes were obtained from marking some 4.3 billion liters of fuel from the July to September period in a bid to eliminate misdeclaration and smuggling. The customs says it has also intensified its activities, enforcing industry players to comply with the demands of the program. As of October 8, the Customs and BIR have collected a total of almost 300 billion pesos from inspecting 30.5 billion liters of fuel under the fuel marking scheme. And those are the biggest stories this trading day, October 14, 2021. Catch Business World Live. That's tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for the market open and 3:15 p.m. for the market close. I'm Danie Laurel. Mask on, wash hands, stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.